Weed of the week is Arkansas Wild Rose.
All right, so this one looks really pretty, and I have a lot of people
you
say...
like the looks of a weed, Brian? That's amazing. I can't believe you said that. Might be the first time in 20 years.
A lot of people say this looks really pretty, so they don't like to control it, and you certainly don't have to control it.
It depends on where it's at, and here's the whole thing. What is a weed? A weed is an undesirable plant that's growing in the wrong location. Now, if you've got a spot where you say, man, I've got wildflowers here in this ditch, I'm never walking through this area, I just want to look at it, well, that's a great spot for Arkansas Wild Rose. But if you say, wow, this is pretty close to my house, and this is an area where my kids like to run through and my dogs like to run through, then you don't want to have Arkansas Wild Rose in those areas.
What most people will use out in their non-crop lands is 2,4-D. Now, we suggest the new 2,4-D Freelix, but how good is it on a perennial weed? Not the greatest. How good is it on these kind of woody species like wild rose? Again, not the greatest. So if you want to do that to suppress wild rose, you certainly can. You probably won't control it with just straight 2,4-D though.
No, if it's away from the house and in an area away from trees and water, then I would use something like grassland that'd have Tordon and that new 2,4-D choline in it, or that Freelix active ingredient.
Yep, or chaparral would be a good choice as well.
Let's say that this weed got out into your corn field or your soybean field or your wheat field. Now, it's not normally one that gets much further in than the end rows, but we do occasionally see it out in cropland. In corn, there really isn't a great pre-emerge herbicide to take it out. If you're doing some spring tillage, you'll often knock Arkansas Wild Rose out. It needs to get established out there. Post-emerge, I really like Status that has done a nice job along the ends of cornfields.
Yeah, when we start talking about in cropland, it's not a problem usually because those crops will choke it out. And that's the whole challenge in the non-crop acres, especially if you mow the grass too short or it's grazed too short, then wild rose pops up. So yeah, corn, not a big issue. Wheat, not really a big issue. I might try something like Husky, probably not going to be very good, but at least it'll suppress it a little bit, the wheat will get ahead and you're fine. Where I would really worry about this would be in soybeans. What are you going to do in soybeans?
Especially no-till soybeans.
Yeah,
then you really should be using Extend soybeans if you can in your area, and spray one of the labeled dicamba products over the top.
Well, that's it for our Weed of the Week, Arkansas Wild Rose. But stay tuned, Iron Talk is coming up next.